Good afternoon, Guillermo.
Hello, good afternoon. Yeah.
Perhaps if we could just start things off by maybe giving us a quick introduction to yourself and Clariant International.
Sure, Dan. Well, my name is Guillermo Fumero. I'm responsible for supply chain and procurement for the BU pigments of Clariant International. Clariant is a chemical group based in Switzerland, around about 7 billion Swiss francs revenue, 22,000 employees, and present in 100 countries all over the world.
Now, you are going to be speaking a little later on about volatility and I suppose risk management and new strategies.
Yeah.
Perhaps if you could tell us a little bit more about that.
Well, look, I think that all the industries, but especially in specialty chemicals, we have seen a very bouncy time in the last years, and starting with the crisis of 2009 and then going over the last years of recoveries and again a little bit of crisis here and there. So we see a lot of volatility in the market, and this change, especially in supply chain, the rules we have to apply in order to be much more effective to manage them.
So what are the specific risks that you're seeing come up, and what are some of those strategies that you are employing in order to overcome those risks?
Yeah, sure. Well, of course, the risk is on the one side that you burn cash in the wrong moment. On the other side is the risk that you overdo your sort of restrictions of cash, your allocation of inventories, and then you dissatisfy your customers. So somehow it's a very risky balance between your financials and your service levels commitments.
Now, we're seeing a lot of people talking about essentially circumnavigating risk and trying to find ways so that you don't have to solve it once it's happened, but rather create strategies that mean that you mitigate the risk before it's even taken place.
Yeah, yeah. Then it's good that you said navigation, because in fact what we have is a foggy market, and navigating a foggy market means that you might see the stone when it is very near to your ship. Yeah, and that's why what we have as supply chain managers is the responsibility to develop the contingencies so that whenever we are in front of the stones, there is a plan B to get out of it.
Now, whilst we might be talking navigation, at the same time it seems like it's much more economic risk as opposed to, say, the volatility that comes out of crises and various natural disasters and things that affect the supply chain, shocks to the supply chain. Is that correct?
Absolutely, absolutely. And this economic risk and uncertainty into consumers, this is producing a very, very bumpy effect into the total supply chains. And of course, in this sense, what is recommendable is that you try to somehow disconnect your operations from the forecast or from the input that is coming from the market, which sometimes is not that accurate as it used to be in the past.
So just finally then, what, over the next, say, 12 months or so, what are the biggest challenges you're looking to overcome?
Yeah, well, basically what we have as challenge number one is to regain this visibility by means of collaboration in forecasting with our customers, of course. A second very important challenge is to, let's say, defend our profitability in the sense that we understand profitability as return on invested capital. And of course, the good or bad management of cash is a very good, is a very big portion of this equation, and that's why we understand that the challenge is how we are going to align our commercial activities and our supply chain activities.
And how is, because you just mentioned collaboration, how is collaboration influencing your decisions?
Well, first of all, the basic collaboration you have to establish is to have a handshake with your customer. Handshake in the sense of what is the service level you expect from me, what is the service level that you need, what is important within this service level portfolio we're offering. Is it only the product, the quality, the pricing? Different customer segments, what we call different customer interaction models needs to be applied. And behind this type of customer interaction models is that you have absolutely different topics what you have to put your emphasis on.
Well, thank you very much for taking the time to talk to us. It's been fascinating, and I'm very much looking forward to seeing more from you later on in the day.
Thank you, Dan.
Cheers.